Previously on Everything Wrong with Justice League. Hey, look, it's the Russian family again. Oh man, how I miss them so. They're barricading their houses to keep the parademons out, even though I think they should have broken inside it a long time ago. I mean, that does not look like a structurally sound home. The little girl then goes inside a sink cabinet and gets out some bug spray. Oh wow, this seems like a very important thing to take note of. I mean, it's a can of bug spray against a bunch of parademons that look like insects themselves. I wonder how this will pay off later on. It's never brought up again. Seriously, this bug spray thing never comes back later in the movie, so this is a completely pointless moment. Thanks again, Joss. The team is heading down to the Batcave in this incredibly fake elevator. Holy shit, that looks bad. And Barry starts having a fangasm seeing the Batcave.
Wow, it's like a cave.
Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
Like a bat cave.
God damn it, why do you exist? Suffice to say, this entire Batcave scene was reshot by Whedon. I'm quite shocked they actually managed to film this on set and not behind some crappy green screens like what we have seen in the previous scenes. Too bad they had to screw it up again by suggesting this place is the Batcave when it's actually an aerospace hangar, which, if it was part of the Batcave as they imply it here, would make no goddamn sense whatsoever.
My father called it a change engine. It was found by the British during World War I. They studied it, but they couldn't even date it. It's so old.
Hold on, Cyborg. Are those sneakers you're wearing? I know, that sounds like a massive stretch to point out, but recall when we first saw him in his home. Those robot feet on him were way too big for him to wear any shoes at all. So how did he manage to fit them all in those tiny sneakers? Oh, wait, I know the answer. Budget.
It was shelved till the night Superman died. Then she lit up like Christmas.
Once again, this goes against what we have seen in Batman v Superman. The mother box was activated long before Superman was ever killed, and it certainly wasn't shelved all that time. It was already at Star Labs when Silas used it to save Victor's life. How many more times is this movie gonna contradict the rest of its universe?
They brought it to Star Labs, but my father recognized it as a perpetual energy matrix.
Oh, that sounds cool. I thought it was like a nuclear bomb.
I guess you could say, Barry, that it was nothing more than a huge nuclear bomb.
My father thought it was the key to unlimited energy. New formulas. My father thought that he could use the mother box to rebuild the broken parts of me with a few cybernetic enhancements. Instead, he built a living machine.
What is Aquaman doing here? I think he took something from the table, but we have no idea what it is. And we will never know because it's never brought up again. Did they just leave the camera on while Jason Momoa was messing around on set?
Instead, he built a living machine that may be stronger than its host.
So, what you're saying is, you're no longer upset about your new body, and your entire arc in this movie has already been resolved just like that. Wonderful. Right here is where they make a very big revelation. Bruce says that the mother box carries too much life for a human body to handle and was made to reshape a planet. And so he brings up the hypothetical question of, what if you were stronger than a planet? Which leads to exactly what you think is gonna lead to.
If you were in a conductive field, boost from the mother box
Could bring him back to life.
Wow. Amazing. I love how the idea of bringing Superman back to life has the same amount of energy as a middle-aged mom who found out she could buy 2 different kinds of shampoo for the price of one with a 5-year-old coupon. But surely Snyder's version also didn't make it as important as it should be, right? Oh, go fuck yourselves, Warner Brothers. Before Bruce can finish explaining his idea to revive Superman, Diana butts in and tells him it's a bad idea. Her argument is that there's a risk bringing Superman back by using the same way Lex created Doomsday. Not exactly a bad argument, mind you, but then out of the freaking blue, she says this to Bruce.
We don't have time for a control group. Is it a risk? Yes, but it's necessary.
Why? Because of your guilt?
And then Bruce proceeds to say this to her back.
At some point, even you have to learn to move on.
Did Steve Trevor tell you that?
What the honest to fuck just happened? Where did this come from? Why are these two suddenly arguing after discussing Superman's revival? Oh, wait. I know exactly why this is happening. See if you can notice a difference with the audio.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
I know guys with none of that worth 10 of you. I've seen the footage. The only thing you really fight for is yourself.
Whedon, be honest. Did you just take your Avengers script and slap the pages onto your rewrites? First, it was the reused shawarma joke, then it was the family subplot, then it was that scene, and now we're redoing the argument scene in Avengers with one character that is a billionaire and one that fought in one of the world wars. I am amazed. You know, people like to say Justice League feels like a rehash of Avengers, what with the supervillain with horns, the way the team up goes, and the villains need to acquire a cube-shaped artifact similar to the Tesseract. All I could say is, it's one thing to have a director take notes of another person's work for their film, it's another to blatantly copy your own work for an entirely different series that you weren't even a part of. Despite this really dumb argument, it sets up one thing for Diana. Bruce says despite her being around for 100 years, he's never heard of her until her photo with Trevor was taken. That in all that time, she could have been a beacon like Superman before he ever came to Earth. And that she's not one to talk about moving on when she shut herself down all that time. Okay, so fuck Flash's arc, fuck Cyborg's arc, fuck Aquaman's arc, but we'll spend a couple of seconds making one for Wonder Woman when she already had a movie before this? Okay, I see how that is, guys.
You know that if she kills you, we'll cover for her.
You? Covering for women? That's cute.
Each of us in our own way is held back, and I promise you, Steppenwolf is not out there talking about ethics. He's trying to burn down the world. The way we're gonna stop him is by using his power, this power, against him.
Man, I can see it in his face that Affleck was not having fun here compared to his scenes that Snyder shot. This is supposed to be Bruce's big speech, and yet Affleck's showing no emotion whatsoever in his face. It really looks like he did not want to be there. After all that, Cyborg tells Bruce that there is a chance Superman can be brought back to life with the Mother Box despite being against it, and he then calls him an asshole.
I don't like the idea of reintegrating with the Mother Box, but I was running the numbers while you were being an asshole.
Me? An asshole? Guess who's not getting his solo film, Cyborg? Yeah, well, guess who's not getting his Matt Reeves trilogy like Warner Brothers promised? Cunt.
But we mean bring him back in like a yay, he's back way, not in like a Pet Cemetery scenario.
You know, despite that stupid pop culture reference, this would have been a very good point to bring up, if Diana didn't already do that.
You lose something when you die, even Superman. Maybe not his mind, maybe his soul. I'll have a contingency plan for that.
We cut to Bruce and his... What the hell is this place, an art museum? This set was never in a Snyder cut, so I really have to guess here. He gets his gauntlets that play the siren working while Alfred talks to him about what happened.
I have a contingency. Well, Diana was right about the risk. If the plan goes south, we're gonna bring in the big guns.
I bought a 4K copy of Morbius for him to watch. That'll get his little brain to work again.
He lived in this world. Fell in love, got a job. Despite all that power, the world needs Superman. And the team needs Clark.
Wow, look, another scene that's actually not half bad. They're not gonna throw another curveball at us, are we? Okay, good, they're not. Flash and Cyborg are digging up the grave of Clark. This did happen in the Snyder Cut, but surprise, surprise, this scene is redone by Whedon.
Do you feel a sense of confidence that we're not doing something horribly wrong and macabre here?
Not really.
Was that line Joss's way of saying this scene of them digging up someone's grave feels wrong? I'm sure it probably is to a few people, but the thing is, your argument doesn't really hold water when, you know, you still use this scene instead of making a new one.
That's the plan. Okay, we're not ready for racially charged.
I got nothing.
You got struck by lightning, huh?
Yeah, that's the abridged version.
This line kinda surprised me. They never actually told us how Flash got his powers in the Snyder Cut. So, in a way, it's kinda nice that they actually brought it up in this film.
And you...
Explosion. Woke up in the lab.
Of course, seeing the Snyder Cut, you would know that was not an explosion that he was involved in. But they never actually told us what accident Victor was in Batman v Superman or earlier in this movie. So for all we know, in this movie's continuity they so desperately want to claim as canon, Cyborg probably was involved in an explosion. Of course, they won't go into detail of that, but at least it doesn't actually affect the continuity of these films. Wait a second. From what I can see, they're about 3 feet deep in that pit, but they hit Clark's coffin already? Do you guys not know how deep coffins are usually buried? Funny enough, in a Snyder Cut, you never actually saw them hit the coffin. They cut away to Aquaman and Diana talking, then to Bruce speaking with Alfred, and when we cut back to the scene, the coffin has already been dug up. I have never seen someone reshoot a scene where they include an error like that. Only in the DCU, people.
I'm here for him.
I swear I would never...
Save it.
Hey, Batman, I don't mean to interrupt your guys' moment, but are you wearing lipstick? Barry and the rest go in disguise inside a military vehicle and Cyborg helps his car go through the ID reader. I'm sorry, does his date of birth say November 6, 2010? He's quite a big 7-year-old, don't you think? But surely this error was also in the Snyder Cut, right? I mean, there's no way someone would intentionally put an error like that in this movie. You're kidding me. How the hell did you manage to screw that up?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Make a mental note, people. There are soldiers all around this base. They get the coffin out and Batman joins with them, and they're already inside the Kryptonian ship. So, where the fuck are all the employees? And if they managed to get inside without clearance, why has no alarm gone off yet? They go inside this hideously blue-looking ship. Jeez, leave it to this movie to make me hate the color blue because of how overly saturated this scene is. They set up the monitor box, put Clark in the pool when Cyborg connects to the ship. The only problem is that there isn't enough power to charge the monitor box.
I might be able to do it. I might be able to jumpstart it. If I can get enough distance, I can conduct a significant electrical current. I might be able to wake the box, if that's still what we want.
Flash looked very concerned when he said that, but I don't think they're gonna tell us why. Maybe he is worried about what will happen to Superman, but it's still very unclear.
If that's still what we want.
We have to try.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, guys, his mouth didn't even match with the line.
I might be able to wake the box, if that's still what we want.
It is. Do it.
The mother box is ready. You have to charge it the moment it touches the fluid.
Okay. Why does he have to charge it at that exact moment? What if he's too early and it goes off before it hits the pool? What if he's just a second late? What happens? Do they just take the box down and try again, or are they screwed? So the countdown happens, they hit 1, he activates the mother box at the right moment, and we have this silly shot of Clark's eyes opening wide. Where are all the soldiers? How did this place get empty so quickly? So Superman is now back to life, and the League goes to check on him. There's some cops back there, remember that. All seems to be well until Superman starts scanning them. And what does he find? Another really bad green screen shot. Holy shit! And where the hell did the cops go? Maybe Aquaman and Cyborg can help this scene out.
Arthur, you need to relax. Your adrenaline's spiking.
Because he's not all right.
No, they don't. Maybe Flash can help us?
Oh no. Should we bow? Or show our bellies?
Why did I even ask?
It's my armor's defense system.
No.
It's stronger since the interface. I can't control it.
It even made those cops behind me disappear! What the damn hell's going on here? And chaos ensues. Superman now sees him as a threat, and Wonder Woman does a really bad job at talking him down.
Kal-El, no.
Kal-El, no. Yeah, nice delivery, gal.
He's confused. He doesn't know who he is.
Pet Cemetery.
Hey, Flash, guess what? Shut the fuck up. Much like all the other action pieces, again, this one is largely Snyder's with a couple of reshoots here and there, and aside from a few shots being cut early, this one isn't nearly as choppily edited as the other ones were. Diana tries to use the lasso of truth on Superman, but he says fuck that party game and everyone tries to restrain him. Flash has this moment of attacking Superman with his speed force, but Superman is one step ahead and they get into a little kerfuffle. This moment is interesting because this is the one instance where it's Snyder that had to reuse footage of this theatrical cut. In the Snyder cut, when Flash enters the Speed Force, you'll notice that there's some distortion going on in the top and bottom screen. This means that Snyder had to lift footage from this moment in Whedon's movie where it was scaled for widescreen theaters. Now, don't be mistaken, this is not a scene Whedon shot, otherwise Zack would have cut it out altogether. But why is this distortion going on at all? My guess is that either the time and money started to run out and they weren't able to restore this scene in time to use its original 4:3 aspect ratio, or Snyder wasn't able to gain access to this original footage and therefore he had to use the scene in the Whedon cut and scale it in a way so that it could fit the 4:3 ratio, but doing so causes distortion to the screen, which is not something any filmmaker would want for a professionally made movie. Luckily with the Flash's Speed Force, this helps hide the effect very well, as anyone would just assume that's the Speed Force causing crazy stuff to happen around Flash's vision. Had it been used anywhere else that didn't involve it, it would have looked really bad. Oh yeah, that's a really appropriate time to play John Williams' Superman theme when he's trying to kill the Flash. After that happens, Batman, and I'm not making this up, runs out to the field completely out of breath. This is so embarrassing. Oh man, I lost my Morbius DVD. We're really screwed now.
Clark. I know you.
Superman recognizes him, but he doesn't remember Wonder Woman. What? This is where like the whole memory loss thing for Superman gets confusing in these reshoots. Supes and Wonder Woman get into a headbutting match, she loses, Superman goes into creative mode, and he pimp slaps Batman into a car. Batman calls in Alfred to bring in the big guns, Superman grabs his face like a chew toy, and remember when I told you guys about certain scenes having Henry Cavill's lip being CGI? Well, get a load of this.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
You know, call me crazy, but if I had to CGI someone's mouth and had little time to do the effect, I would make sure not to film any close-up shots where the rubbery lip would be clear as day. Just saying. This scene is ridiculous. Not just with the CGI face or Batman looking like his face is about to burst, but it's what Superman says during their talk.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Oh, that's what we're gonna call back to. After all this time we have completely retconned everything from the previous movies, this line had to be kept in. Fuck straight off. But this callback to BVS has brought up a bit of debate on whether or not it was a good choice to add into the Whedon cut. Some people, even those who watched the Snyder Cut, argue that the "Do you bleed" line should have been kept in for Snyder's version, saying it's a good callback to how the roles had been reversed, with Superman saying the line to Batman, whereas it was the other way around in Batman v Superman. I actually can't disagree with that opinion, but here's the thing. While I do think Joss did have the intention of having this line come full circle for Batman and Superman, I don't think Zack planned to use that line here. Remember, Zack Snyder originally was asked to make a trilogy of Justice League movies before his departure, and since we have all seen the nightmare sequences in Batman v Superman and the Snyder Cut, we know that at some point Superman was going to turn evil. I think that line would fit better in one of those movies that takes place in the nightmare future, since Superman would actually be evil and not just suffering from amnesia like he was in Justice League, and that when he says the line to Batman, that would perfectly mirror their first interaction in Batman v Superman. Whereas Batman, who was on the bad side, says "Do you bleed" to Superman, who's on the hopeful side, now it would be Superman on the evil side saying that line to Batman, who's on the hopeful side. Of course, I'm not friends with the guy, nor can I read his mind, so for all we know, Snyder most likely had no plans on reusing the line to begin with. But I can at least see why some people argue that this is one of the better additions to the Whedon cut and should have been remixed in the Snyder cut. Me personally, I can't take this scene seriously because of Superman's stupid CGI lip and him holding Batman's face like he's a goddamn squeaky toy, not to mention Cavill's awful line delivery on the "Do you bleed" part.
Do you bleed?
Oh my god, they really did turn this into a cartoon. Turns out Batman's contingency plan was bringing in Lois Lane to Superman. He stops everything he does except throw this fake Batman doll to the side because fuck you. They have a little moment and they both fly away together.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away.
Thank you so much for ruining Batman for all of us, Whedon. Let's pretend that never happened so we can all go to sleep at night. So they leave, Wonder Woman and Cyborg watch the sky, and Steppenwolf takes the last murder box off screen.
The mother box. He has the last one.
Are you serious? We don't even get a fight scene with him, he just takes it and that's that? Who the hell thought that was a good idea? Wait a minute. Can we zoom in on Cyborg right there?
The mother box.
No, they did not leave that in. They start the line with him speaking mid-sentence with no sound actually coming out of his mouth. This movie, it's just one big shitty YouTube video. Clark and Lois arrive at his home. It would have been a sweet moment, but of course they had to add in another stupid ass joke.
This is home.
You smell good.
Did I not before?
And guess what? Seriously, take a guess what is wrong with this scene. Time's up, it's the ADR. For the 100th time, Amy Adams' lips do not line up with what is said in the scene. What she actually said in that shot was,
You spoke.
Did I not before?
which in the context of the Snyder Cut makes sense because during that whole fight with Superman and the Justice League, Superman was silent the whole time, but they decided to redo that line with a crappy joke in order to remove the original "you spoke" line. And why did they do that? Because they made him talk in the reshoots. Honestly, and I know I've been shitting on these bad reshoots for a while now, but they really should have just reshot the scene with that line in the script, instead of acting like nobody in the audience will know it's shitty ADR. Yeah, spoiler alerts, Warner Brothers, we all fucking know it is.
Don't do that.
If the boxes are even close to each other, there's going to be some kind of Energy surge.
What the fucking fuck? So you're telling me that all this time we've tried to keep the mother boxes away from Steppenwolf, that we actually needed him to take the last one so they can find his hideout? So pretty much everything that happened in the last hour was pointless since you could have told them about it all this time. Okay, let's do this again, people. In the Snyder Cut, the mother boxes were completely undetectable. Nobody in the league knew where Steppenwolf's base was or if it's even in a spot they can get to. It did not take until they revived Superman where Silas took the mother box from the car it landed on and brought it back to his lab. Knowing that he wasn't going to get out there alive with Steppenwolf hot on his tail, he goes inside the cell with the mother box, turns on the electro laser to heat up the box, and he dies in the process. Yeah, Silas actually dies in this version, contrast to him being alive in the Whedon cut. It was his sacrifice that helped mark the mother box since it would be so hot that it could be tracked through a thermal imaging system, and that's how they were able to find Steppenwolf's base. But here, yeah guys, we need to keep Steppenwolf away from the mother boxes, but if they combine together, it'll help us track his place down, so we probably should let him take it. We didn't think this through, did we?
So you can't find them? Or maybe you don't want to.
No, don't even start again with this bullshit. You already had your argument seen once, Whedon. We're not doing this again.
So is this a bad time to bring up my blood sugar?
Everything you have said is a bad time, Barry.
I was wondering if you could put out the feeler, the aquatic. Do you talk to fish?
Does anybody know what Ben Affleck's email is? Because I feel like I am obligated to write this guy an apology letter for what he had to go through in this movie. Seriously, he did not deserve this. Nobody should be in his position to say lines like this while trying to play as the goddamn Batman. Nobody. Not Ben Affleck, not Michael Keaton, not Val Kilmer, not Christian Bale, not Robert Pattinson, not even George Clooney. Nobody deserves this. Bruce is resting in his personal art museum when Wonder Woman walks in wearing... What is that supposed to be? A blanket? A cape? A towel? A fucking window curtain? What the hell is she wearing? TLDR of this scene is, Wonder Woman realizes her wrongs and looks to become a leader like Bruce said she should have been. Bruce reconciles with her, they both share a drink together before the battle, and they're clearly trying to pair the two together. I'm aware this did happen in Batman v Superman, and it even happens in the Snyder Cut too with this little cheesy moment. But of course here, the dialogue completely derails their moment.
We make it through tonight. You can stay in the shadows forever. Dress up like a bat. I won't even sue.
Okay guys, one time it's alright, second time's a little much, the third time is complete over. Overkill.